Good morning. Good. Hey. Day 2 of Dev Days, the day of the social event as well. So, I have a few pictures of yesterday. Of course, the photo booth, it took some time for you guys to warm up. I was saying to my fellow organizers, if you would put up a photo booth in Europe, there would be queues. Everyone would make total fun of themselves. But finally, after some people had a few drinks, it started to work out really well. And on the right-hand side, we have the always smiling James Agnew on my Dutch wooden shoes. They're still here if you want to go on a picture with my Dutch wooden clogs from yesterday. I still got them. They're still size 44, though. If you bring a chisel, you can enlarge them a little bit if you'd like. Okay, I have no big philosophical messages today, just a few practical points of order. I want to reiterate on something I did tell you about yesterday, but maybe put your attention to it one more time. We have tutorials on that top level floor. Here's a picture from yesterday's tutorial. I think seeing the people around the table, this was on creating profiles. We have asked the tutorial speakers again to put their stuff on that link here. So if you go into a tutorial, check that link up there, FHIR DevDays Boston exercises, to see if there are exercises for that tutorial. Because if so, the tutorial speaker will join you to a table here up there after that tutorial session, and you can work with him through those exercises. Of course, no obligations. If you want to go to any of the other tutorials today, that's no problem. There's a lot of interesting stuff, I know. One other thing today is the student track. So, I don't know if they're here. Welcome, students, where are you? Are you here? No, still sleeping somewhere? Yeah, there. Part of the, well, also the European version of Dev Days is a day of tracks for students. So they're normally in a separate room, but this time around they will be in the back corner of the loft over there. There's a projector, and they will be enjoying presentations just like you on FHIR. And they are working, or they have been working and will work again on applications, which they will show off at the end of the day at 4:15. There's some kind of competition. There's a group of judges, and I think James is one, and a few more, and they will determine the winner of that group who has written the best app or application using FHIR, and they will show off here in the great room at 4:15. So it's really nice for them to be able to present that to you. So I hope you'll be all here joining me at 4:15 to take a look at what they have been doing. Otherwise, the highlights for today. We have a keynote from Eyal Oren from Google telling you about FHIR at Google, and that's a pretty simple title for a presentation that, well, Eyal gave a presentation in November at Dev Days in Amsterdam last November, and I was pretty impressed with Google's work at Google Brain and what they were doing with FHIR. So I hope you'll be joining us at 1:30. That's 1:30, 1:30, yeah. For Eyal's talk. During lunch, we'll be taking the group picture. I don't know if you watch the social media from the Dev Days events in Europe, we always try to get one picture really with all 380 people on it. I have no idea about logistics. We'll let the photographer do that, but we'll try to be all of us on one big group picture with the 380 people. And that we have 20 minutes to make that work, so should be easy. If by now you're getting stressed, we'll be supplying chair massage today. So I don't know actually where they will be, around there, in that corner. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 2. 2 chair massage. So let's see whether we're gonna have queues today. I'd like to see queues. They'll be here for about 4 hours, from noon till 4 o'clock. I'm sorry for the military times there, it's just so in my system. So that's 4 o'clock, 1600 hours. And then at 5 o'clock this afternoon is the social event. Now, I hope you did read, I mean, the booklet has a lot that you received yesterday, has a lot of information, but I do hope you read the page on the social event, because most of the details you need to know about the social event are there in that booklet. But I will highlight the most important points here. There will be buses downstairs, so outside the doors, from 5 to 5:30. So you can get a bus from 5 to 5:30, transporting you to the Lucky Strike social event. You can, of course, get there all by yourself if you want. It's not too far from Fenway Park, but there will be buses here downstairs leaving between 5 and 5:30. Maybe even more important, they will be leaving from the Lucky Strike event between 8 and 8:30. And there is a group of buses going back to this place. There's a group of buses going to the Holiday Inn Hotel, and another one to the Cambridge, is it Hyatt? Yeah. So they will bring you home. But there's, of course, no obligation at all to take any of these buses. You can stay at the Lucky Strike event, social event, as long as you want. You can head out and check Boston out. But if you want, there are buses bringing you back to some of the most common destinations. So that's easy. And then a few points of logistic order for today. The lunch tables. Yesterday we had lunch over there. We will do that again today. And then we had tables both over there and down here. But because we're preparing this area for Eel's presentation, there will be, we'll be setting up this area just like now. So you're perfectly okay to pick up your food upstairs and sit down on the chairs like this, but it won't be like these round tables. So that's a little bit different. Yesterday I promised you luggage room on Friday. I'm sorry, we don't have luggage room for you on Friday, but we do have it on Thursday, which is actually way more useful because that's probably the day you will actually be leaving for the airport. And no, not on Friday, but if you stay on to Boston, you have to find another place for yourself. Another thing we did is we messed around a little bit with the first sessions this morning. So once more, this is now the correct room assignment for the first block of sessions starting at 9 o'clock. So we have Miss Watson at City Side 1 talking about the JavaScript stack, if I remember correctly. So the student track has been moved to the loft up there. The track on the FHIR projects has remained unchanged in Harborside 3. And that means that we have Harborside 4 available for the gentleman from Apple to talk to you about accessing healthcare records using Apple HealthKit. So that will be in Harborside 4 at 9 o'clock. So that means that we'll still have another 20 minutes or so for coffee. But first, I have someone else to announce, which is Shannon Sarton from CMS, and she wants to tell you something about the Blue Button Developer Conference in August. So, Shannon, there she is. The floor is yours.
Hopefully this one works. Thanks so much for making time for us on your schedule. We really appreciate it. So for anybody who doesn't know, CMS earlier this year announced the release of our Medicare Claims API, or Blue Button 2.0, at HIMSS. In the time period since the announcement of the production data going live, we've had a ton of engagement with developers. We've got about over 500 developers currently using our API, and we're interested in really growing more of the community. So today, in conjunction with the White House, we're announcing that we're going to be hosting our first ever Blue Button 2.0 developer conference in Washington, D.C. We're pulling together an event that will be hosted on August 13th at the General Services Administration building that will bring together not just the developer community around the Blue Button API, but hopefully extending that out to all of the people who've worked so hard on the FHIR standard in the HL7 community. We are very interested in continuing to grow our use of the standard, ensuring that that's proliferating across government, and is really helping to ensure maturity. And so we're going to be pulling together that community as well as a number of venture capitalists, other individuals who are interested in this space, and some Medicare beneficiaries as well, to kind of have an opportunity for everybody to get in the same room, have conversations about what's working, what's not, and ensure that there's an opportunity for anybody who wants to develop and announce any new products at this event that they have the opportunity to do so. Right now, we're still pulling up our registration page. If you have been looking at all at bluebutton.cms.gov, probably in the next few hours, there will be a registration link made available. We're using the hashtag on Twitter, BBDC, really creative. Definitely going after the Apple success with WWDC there. And so there's going to be more information rolling out in the next few days. So we would love to see all of you guys there. If you've got any interest in learning more, you can come find me. I'll be around for a few hours. And if not, definitely check bluebutton.cms.gov. Thanks, guys.
Well, and that's all there is to tell you about, so I would say enjoy another 20 minutes or so to the first tutorials, whatever. I will put back on the slides that I have with the program for now. Let's see, that was the previous slide. Here we go. There we go. The 9 to 9:40 sessions are at the bottom of that slide, and have a nice day.